Welcome to WT History. In this series, we list all the major events that happened in the world in a year, starting from 1776 to 2024. On February 20th, President George Washington signed the Postal Service Act, officially establishing the United States Post Office Department. Just a month later, on March 25th, a new capital for North Carolina was established. State Senator and Surveyor William Christmas submitted his design for the city, which was later named Raleigh in honor of Sir Walter Raleigh, the famous English explorer. Raleigh became the seat of Wake County and remains North Carolina's capital to this day. On April 2nd, the Coinage Act was passed, creating the United States Mint. This was a huge step for the young nation as it allowed for the production of standardized currency. No more bartering with random foreign coins. America was now making its own money. 3 days later, on April 5th, President Washington exercised the first ever presidential veto in U.S. history, rejecting a bill that aimed to apportion representatives among the states. On May 11th, Captain Robert Gray, aboard the Columbia Rediviva, became the first white man to discover the mouth of the Columbia River. This discovery opened up the Pacific Northwest for exploration and trade, and the river was later named after his ship. Just 6 days later, on May 17th, the Buttonwood Agreement was signed under a buttonwood tree on Wall Street. This agreement laid the foundation for what would become the New York Stock Exchange, the heart of global finance. On June 1st, Kentucky became the 15th state of the United States. Known as the Bluegrass State, Kentucky's admission marked the continued westward expansion of the young nation. On June 4th, Captain George Vancouver claimed Puget Sound for Great Britain. And on June 13th, Vancouver became the first European to enter Burrard Inlet near present-day Vancouver, Canada. His explorations helped map the Pacific coast of North America. On September 30th, the Chickamauga Cherokee launched an attack on Middle Tennessee, hoping to push out white settlers. They were stopped at Buchanan Station outside of Nashboro. October 12th marked the first ever Columbus Day celebration in the United States, held in New York City, commemorating 300 years since Christopher Columbus arrived in the New World. The next day, on October 13th, the cornerstone of the United States Executive Mansion, later known as the White House, was laid. This iconic building would become the home of every U.S. president, starting with John Adams. On October 29th, Mount Hood in Oregon was named by Lieutenant William Broughton of the Vancouver expedition. He named it after British Admiral Lord Hood, and it remains one of the most famous peaks in the Pacific Northwest. In December, the second U.S. presidential election was held. George Washington was unanimously re-elected, receiving all 132 electoral votes. John Adams was re-elected as vice president with 77 of 132 votes. On December 3rd, Washington officially accepted his re-election. Meanwhile, in France, the guillotine was introduced as a method of execution by the National Legislative Assembly on March 25th. April 20th marked the beginning of the French Revolutionary Wars. France declared war on Austria, sparking the War of the First Coalition. By June 13th, Prussia had joined the war against France. The Duke of Brunswick, commander of the Allied army, issued the Brunswick Manifesto on July 25th, threatening Paris with military execution and complete destruction if the French royal family was harmed. On April 25th, Claude-Joseph Rouget de Lussel composed La Marseillaise, the stirring anthem that would become the rallying cry of the French Revolution. It remains France's national anthem to this day. On August 10th, the French Revolution reached a boiling point. The Tuileries Palace was stormed by revolutionaries, and King Louis XVI was arrested and taken into custody. From August 29 to September 2nd, the War of the First Coalition saw the Battle of Verdun. Prussian forces defeated French troops led by Nicolas-Joseph Beaurepaire, dealing a blow to the Revolutionary Army. September 2nd to 7 witnessed the horrific September massacres. Rampaging mobs slaughtered 3 Roman Catholic bishops, over 200 priests, and at least 1,000 others, including criminals. September 20th marked a turning point in the war. At the Battle of Valmy, the French Revolutionary Army defeated the Prussians under the Duke of Brunswick after a grueling 7-hour artillery duel. On September 21st, the French Convention proclaimed the abolition of the monarchy, and the French First Republic was established the following day. This also saw the introduction of the French Republican calendar, a radical attempt to redefine time itself. On November 6th, the French army, led by General Charles-François Dumouriez, defeated Austrian forces at the Battle of Jemappes in Belgium. This victory expanded French influence and demonstrated the revolution's growing military strength. December 26th marked the beginning of the trial of Louis XVI. The former king faced charges of treason, setting the stage for one of the most dramatic moments of the revolution. Meanwhile, in Britain, the London Corresponding Society was founded on January 25th. This radical group advocated for parliamentary reform and greater political representation, reflecting the revolutionary spirit spreading across Europe. On February 18th, Thomas Holcroft's comedy The Road to Ruin premiered in London. This play entertained audiences while subtly critiquing societal norms. February 20th saw a dramatic fire at Parliament House in Dublin. Despite the danger, the legislative session continued until a proper motion to adjourn was passed. In September, the Macartney Embassy set sail from Portsmouth. Led by George Macartney, this mission aimed to establish diplomatic relations between Great Britain and China. Radical writer Thomas Paine fled England for France on September 14th after being indicted for treason. On October 2nd, the Baptist Missionary Society was founded in Kettering, England. January 9th saw the signing of the Treaty of Jassy, ending the war between Russia and the Ottoman Empire over Crimea. On March 1st, Leopold II, Holy Roman Emperor, died suddenly from pneumonia. He was buried in the Tuscan crypt within the Imperial Crypt in Vienna. He was succeeded by his son, Francis II, the last Holy Roman Emperor. On March 7th, a settlement is formed in Sierra Leone in West Africa as a home for freed slaves. On March 16th, King Gustav III of Sweden was assassinated at a masquerade ball in Royal Opera, Stockholm. Shot by Jacob Johan Ankerström, Gustav died on March 29th, leaving his 14-year-old son, Gustav IV Adolf, to inherit the throne. March 22nd in the Haitian Revolution. At the Battle of Croix des Bouquets, black slave insurgents achieved a major victory in the first major battle of the revolution. On April 21st, Tiradentes, a leader of the Inconfidencia Mineira conspiracy, was executed in Rio de Janeiro. His death made him a martyr for Brazilian independence. May 18th saw Russia invade Poland, leading to the disbandment of the Great Sejm. Despite resistance led by Tadeusz Kościuszko, Poland faced a grim future under foreign domination. On May 21st, an old lava dome collapses in Kyushu, Japan, due to activity of Mount Unzen volcano. The resulting avalanche and tsunami kill about 14,300 people. September 12th, the town of Fort Bourbon is founded by Governor Joaquin Alos y Bru. Nowadays, it is called Forte Olimpo. October 3rd, a militia departs from the Spanish stronghold of Valdivia to quell a Hui uprising in southern Chile. The siege of Seringatam ended the Third Anglo-Mysore War. Tipu Sultan's capitulation on March 18, 1792, marked a significant victory for the British East India Company and its allies. 1792 was also a year of innovation. Claude Chappe demonstrated the first semaphore line. Scottish engineer William Murdoch began experimenting with gaslighting. Mary Wollstonecraft published A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, a groundbreaking work of feminist literature in London. The State Street Corporation is founded in Boston, Massachusetts. The Insurance Company of North America, later named Chubb, is founded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. James Johnstone establishes that Vancouver Island is an island. The first written examinations in Europe were held at the University of Cambridge in England. The composer Ludwig van Beethoven moved to Vienna from Bonn to study with Joseph Haydn. He would live in Vienna for the rest of his life. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more journeys through history. See you next time.